Gaza ceasefire once again in doubt as first phase nears end. As the first phase of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza approaches its conclusion, uncertainty looms once again. Following the release of the last 6 living Israeli hostages scheduled for this phase, Israel was set to free more than 600 Palestinian prisoners, the largest number to be released at once. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has indefinitely delayed the exchange, demanding that Hamas stop what he described as its cynical use of hostages for propaganda purposes. In response, Hamas accused Israel of deliberately attempting to disrupt the ceasefire agreement. This marks yet another major obstacle in an already fragile process aimed at achieving a permanent cessation of hostilities and the eventual rebuilding of Gaza. Israel previously raised concerns about chaotic scenes during one of the initial hostage handovers, arguing that the safety of the hostages had been jeopardized. Additionally, Israel accused Hamas of violating the agreement by failing to release a female civilian hostage, Arbel Yud. In retaliation, Israel delayed access for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians seeking to return to northern Gaza for 48 hours. The situation was resolved when Hamas released Arbel Yud in an extra handover before the next scheduled exchange on the following Saturday. Hamas later accused Israel of failing to uphold its commitments by not allowing heavy machinery, tents, and caravans into Gaza. As a result, Hamas temporarily halted the next hostage handover. This led to threats from both Netanyahu and US President Donald Trump, warning that full-scale war would resume if the agreed-upon releases did not proceed. Under mounting pressure, Hamas ultimately agreed to release the hostages. Adding to tensions, a recent revelation further strained the ceasefire process. On Thursday, Hamas handed over a body it claimed was that of Shiri Bibas. However, it was later discovered that the remains did not belong to her, sparking new outrage in Israel. The image of Shiri shielding her 2 young children as they were abducted on October 7, 2023, remains one of the most haunting symbols of that day's events. Netanyahu condemned Hamas, calling the misidentification a cruel and evil violation of the agreement. The ceasefire was narrowly preserved when Hamas provided the correct body within a day. These incidents underscore the fragility of the ceasefire process and may partly explain why negotiations for the second phase, originally set to begin earlier this month, have yet to start. With the first phase due to end in a week, time is running out. Hamas has proposed releasing the remaining hostages intended for the second phase in a single exchange, but only if Israel withdraws all its forces from Gaza and agrees to a permanent end to the war. Israel, in contrast, insists on Hamas's complete disarmament, an ultimatum Hamas has so far rejected. The highly publicized hostage handovers, which Netanyahu has condemned, serve as a demonstration that Hamas still holds power in Gaza. Within Israel, political divisions are evident. The right-wing factions push for a renewed military offensive against Hamas, while hostage families, supported by much of the Israeli public, prioritize the safe return of all captives above all else. Meanwhile, Trump's plan for Gaza has introduced additional uncertainty. The third phase of the ceasefire is supposed to lay the groundwork for Gaza's reconstruction. However, Arab nations are scrambling to formulate an alternative plan in which Palestinians remain in Gaza while the region is rebuilt, rather than being displaced as Trump's proposal suggests. The future governance of Gaza remains a contentious issue, with conflicting proposals from Israel, Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, and Arab nations.